Welcome back, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled you're here for today's explainer. We are going to completely demystify something that is fundamentally shifting the way work actually gets done right now. Listen, if you've been using AI as just a, slightly smarter search engine or a basic chatbot, you're barely scratching the surface. Today, we are transitioning you from a basic user into a high-leverage builder. We're going to break down exactly how to build and direct a multi-tool AI team. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this stark contrast, because this is wild. You give the exact same tool to two different people, and the results are night and day. User A uses AI to draft a slightly better, maybe more polite email to their boss, right? But user B uses that exact same AI to analyze market data, prototype software, and help build a $100 million company. This is the reality we're living in today. The gap between these two users doesn't come down to raw intelligence, it's entirely about methodology. And today, we're going to teach you how to be user B. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll hit the AI leverage gap. Then, the Claude Stack explained. After that, real-world execution and MCP. Then we'll cover the prime prompting framework. And finally, your ultimate human edge. Okay, jumping into part one, the AI leverage gap. Same tool, different wielders.
The absolute most crucial thing to internalize right off the bat is that the underlying technology is exactly the same for everyone logging in. The tool is identical, but how you wield it, that changes absolutely everything about your output. Think about your own ambitions for a second. The gap between people who simply use AI to save a few minutes and the people who truly wield it to multiply their output, that gap is going to fundamentally reshape careers, companies, and lives over the next decade. Mastering this isn't just a neat tech trick, it's arguably the definitive career advantage of our time. If you can learn to wield this, you are essentially giving yourself superpowers in the modern workplace.
Moving right along to part two, the Claude Stack explained, hiring your 5-member team.
We really need to stop thinking about Claude as just a single chat window where you type a question and cross your fingers for a good answer. No, you are essentially hiring a 5-member team here. Let's meet them. We have chat to help you think, projects to remember your context, cowork to execute on your local machine, code to build things, and Chrome to browse with a brain. Seriously, shift your mindset right now. Stop thinking of yourself as just a software user and start thinking of yourself as a high-level manager directing these 5 distinct, powerful agents. Let's look a little closer at the first 2 members, think and remember. Look, most people use chat to write a generic LinkedIn post that sounds like, well, a robot wrote it. Definitely don't do that. Instead, use chat as a true thinking partner to push back on your weak ideas. Literally say, here's my rough idea. Point out the flaws. Then, use projects to create an ongoing memory. Give it all your specific context. For example, tell it, you are a badass recruiter, I am a brand marketer, learn my resume and write in a direct, confident tone. Now, you're not starting from scratch every single time. You have an ongoing, personalized relationship with your AI. All right, part 3, real-world execution and MCP. This is where the work actually gets done. So we're shifting gears from just thinking and planning into generating actual, tangible desktop output. Meet the 3rd member of your team, Claude Cowork. This is a paid desktop app, and it's used to execute complex tasks. You call on Cowork when your assets are local files, when the task has multiple steps, and when you need the final file saved directly to your hard drive. Just imagine telling Cowork to read a folder full of customer transcripts and spreadsheets, spot the top 3 reasons for customer churn, and automatically generate a clean, formatted slide deck right back into your local folder. It literally does the execution for you. Now, here is where things get incredibly powerful. It all comes down to this technical term, MCP, or Model Context Protocol. I know it sounds super complex, but honestly, it simply means giving Claude a set of keys to unlock other AI tools. With MCP, Claude can literally knock on the door of external software, unlock its capabilities, and act through it to hand you finished results without you ever lifting a finger in that secondary app. So what does that actually look like in the real world? Let's say you're a solo founder bootstrapping a candle business. You obviously don't have thousands of dollars for an ad agency. Well, with MCP, you just paste a connector URL for a creative AI tool, like Hicksfield, right into your settings. Then, you simply tell Cowork to generate 20 beautiful ad creatives, Instagram posts, website close-ups, vertical videos, for your new lavender candle line. Cowork passes the instructions to Hicksfield, and boom, the finished files land directly in your local folder. This exact workflow saves solo founders thousands of dollars and weeks of post-production. It completely levels the playing field.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is it actually safe to let an AI run loose on my computer? The answer is yes, if you do it right. You use a concept called sandboxing. You absolutely must give cowork explicit permission to access only a specific subfolder where you've placed the required documents. Doing this keeps the rest of your hard drive and all your sensitive files completely off limits and perfectly secure. Rounding out our team, we have Claude Code and Claude Chrome. Guys, it is time to entirely dismantle the "I'm not technical" label. With Claude Code, you can type in plain English, "Hey, I want a dashboard where I can drop my sales pipeline and see which deals are at risk," and it just builds it for you. No computer science degree required, or even desired. And with Claude Chrome, the AI acts as a real-time researcher right inside your browser. Reading a dense 40-page industry report? Just have Claude pull the 3 key insights instantly while you keep browsing.
Let's move into part 4, the prime prompting framework, directing your smart AI team. So the crucial point here is that having this amazing 5-member team is totally useless if you don't know how to direct them. And that brings us to Prime. This is the exact operating manual super users rely on to guarantee exceptional output. Let's start with P for purpose. Every single successful prompt must start with a crystal clear, defined outcome. Don't just say, "Write this." Give Claude a precise goal. Tell it exactly what the end game is. For instance, your purpose is to help me turn this messy, disorganized proposal into a sharp, structured 5-part client memo. Next up is R for research. The absolute best way to stop an AI from hallucinating or just wildly guessing is to ground its responses in reality. Feed Claude your external data, your internal constraints, raw transcripts, specific background notes. If you give it the actual raw material, its output goes from generic to incredibly accurate and relevant to your exact situation. Okay, now for I, interview. Listen to me. This right here is the hidden gem of the entire framework. Instead of just barking orders at the machine, tell the AI, "Interview me before you respond." Claude will generate multiple choice questions for you to answer, which drastically sharpens its understanding of the scope and, honestly, it sharpens your own thinking about what you actually want. It is a total game changer. Then we have M for mechanics. You have to dictate the precise mechanical format you expect for the final deliverable. Do you want bullet points, a 10-slide deck outline, a data table, or detailed conversational paragraphs? If you don't dictate the mechanics, you're leaving the formatting entirely up to chance, which almost always leads to frustration. And finally, E for examples. If you want the absolute fastest path to high-quality output, you must show the AI what good actually looks like. Give it a past slide deck you liked, a document with a style you admire, a specific tone reference. Giving it an example completely eliminates the guesswork and ensures the AI matches your specific expectations right out of the gate. Okay, bringing it home with part 5, your ultimate human edge, beyond the machine. We've talked extensively about the tools and the frameworks, but we really need to talk about the mindset required to succeed when the machines can do so much of the heavy lifting. Just think about this number for a second. $20. For just $20 a month, you are essentially hiring an intelligence that is already, in many specific tasks, better than most MBAs and PhDs. This radically shifts the landscape. Labels like "I'm not technical" or "I'm not a designer," they're becoming completely obsolete. The barrier to entry has evaporated. But here is what you really need to remember. The AI provides the leverage, yes, but it is entirely up to you to bring the human elements to the table. You must bring the innate curiosity to keep learning as these tools evolve. You've got to bring the tenacity to push through those frustrating moments of machine friction when your prompt just fails. And you need the patience to actually integrate these new capabilities into your daily routine. The human is the edge. Which leads me to a bit of a challenge for you. As these tools make everything easier, will you slowly replace real, substantive effort with mere convenience? If you just let the machine do the thinking for you to save a little time, you run the very real risk of losing your instinct to wonder, to question, and to innovate. Don't let the technology make you intellectually lazy. Let it elevate your ambitions. And that brings us to our final thought today. The playing field is level, the tools are available, the stack is ready, and you now have the Prime framework. You don't need permission, you don't need a fancy degree, and you certainly don't need a massive budget anymore. As the saying goes, you are the one you've been waiting for. So the real question is, what are you going to build today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Dive into these tools, and I can't wait to explore more fascinating topics with you next time. Keep learning and keep building.